20 years ago, our family came here for the first time, and it happened to be right before Easter. And our son at the time was 5 and very precocious and asked why we weren't Jewish, because Jesus was Jewish. Guess what? Easter is next week, a perfect opportunity to learn why we're Christian. And we just fell in love with this church. It's been 20 years, and we thought a nice way to give back a small part of everything that Westminster's given our family is to donate to the foundation.
Well, I hate to admit this, but the first time I donated, I did it because it seemed like a good thing to do. I wasn't at all understanding how important it was. And the longer I'm a member of this church, the more I learn and appreciate how significant the foundation really is to Westminster's present and future.
Giving to the foundation is kind of like planting a tree. You don't really know what that tree is going to do for you, but you hope that it's going to provide some benefit for people in the future. And the foundation is kind of the same way.
As we grew up, we were taught to give back to the church. And as we were younger, we did as we could, but now that we're older, we can contribute more freely.
For Linda and I, it was a very easy decision. We've chosen to use a portion of our IRA to make a gift to the foundation. We get to use the IRA while we're alive for our financial security. Tax-wise, there's no tax consequences if you make the gift out of your IRA when the second of us passes on.
You know, our church does so many things. Like, I love our music and the fine arts series. I also just appreciate everything the church did during COVID. You know, thinking back 3 years ago, how scared everyone was and how abnormal everything felt. I think Westminster pivoted really quickly, and it was an instance of normality in such an abnormal time.
I feel like the youth program in our church is so important because that's where the future of the church is.
Having served on the Buildings and Grounds Committee, I became very aware of the financial needs to just take care of the things like repairing a roof or heating and air conditioning system of the church.
You know, I've been Presbyterian for generations. My family brought the Reformed faith over. I'm the 5th generation of my family to be a Presbyterian here in Iowa. And it means something to me to be able to be part of that effort, to see that that availability continues.
But one of my absolute favorites are the preschool program and the wraparound program. I was an only child. My mother and father both worked. I had an opportunity to attend similar programming and services at what was then called, in my youth, the Jewish Community Center. They were not pushing the Jewish religion, but it was a community thing that supported families of children who had working parents. And so I'm very thankful for that, and I'm an advocate for that here at Westminster.
Every year we tithe, but my gift to the foundation will last forever. I can't think of a better investment than that.
Well, I think it is a good investment, and I certainly give credit to the foundation board. I see how seriously they take how that money from the foundation is woven in with the money that comes down the aisle in pledges. When people contribute, they really should understand that whatever preferences they've expressed will be honored, and I think that's a great thing.
Well, when you look at where we're at in this country, there's a lot of chaos. Our children in our schools are at risk of dying from gun violence. When I contrast that with what Westminster does and what this church provides to our immigrants that work in God's garden and the programming that we have here, the openness that we have at Westminster. It seems to me that it makes good sense, if you're a Christian, to support the kindness and the openness and the love that is shown by this church to this community.
You know, when I was growing up, tithes were what you owed, and offerings, they were a way to express your thanks and your gratitude above what you had to do. And I think that's part of what the foundation is.
I think to pray on it, and you don't have to wait till you're a member for 20 years to do it. You know, just putting a thing in your will that you're planning on giving to the foundation. It's a nice way of ensuring that the church will always be here for that precocious 5-year-old who wonders why they're not Jewish.
Churches often go through times when they struggle. And we even know at this time that there's churches that are closing their doors. Is it because they don't have a foundation? I would hate to see this church have to close its doors with all it does for the community.
My hope is that our membership and the people who support Westminster can see that the importance of the foundation for the long-term viability of Westminster is essential. Please, if you can, look into your heart and do what you know is right.